I'm not sure if it was growing up in the 50s or just my particular family, but I don't think I ever heard the F word spoken as a child. In fact, there were a lot of words I never heard. Words such as penis, vagina, intercourse were never spoken within earshot. In my family, body parts and bodily functions had silly, made-up names, and the act of procreation was never mentioned. I found I was at a distinct disadvantage in junior high health class when faced with the task of labeling mimeograph diagrams of male and female bodies. It shouldn't have been that hard. The names of the body parts were listed in a column along the right side of the worksheet. All I had to do was draw lines and match them up. However, none of those terms looked even slightly familiar to me. As I struggled with that worksheet, I vowed then and there, if I ever had children, now this was not a major life goal in junior high, I would be frank. I'd call every body part by its correct name, and furthermore, I would answer any delicate questions about sex correctly, right there on the spot. No hemming or hawing for this girl. Oh, it's so easy to make sweeping proclamations about how you would conduct your adult life when you are 12 years old. I never fantasized about my wedding or if or when I would have children. Even though getting married and having children were not high up on my list of life goals, it happened. And I was faced with honoring my vow to be frank about the facts of life much sooner than expected. Why is it that children feel so relaxed and talkative when you're shuttling them around in the family minivan? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they are usually sitting behind you. Maybe they ask these uncomfortable questions when you're driving because they know you are distracted navigating through traffic. Or maybe it's because with 5 children in the van, you may not recognize the voice of the child asking the delicate question. Who knows? They're very sneaky, aren't they? Now, I can't even count how many uncomfortable conversations took place in our van. Thank goodness all of the kids were sitting behind me and could not see my flaming red, anguished face as I attempted to calmly and frankly answer each and every question. Mom, someone vandalized the fence by the elementary school last night. They wrote the word F-U-C-K on the fence over and over again. What does F-U-C-K mean, Mom? Asked a young voice from the back of the van. I took a deep breath, kept my eyes on the road, and calmly explained the mechanics of the word to the best of my ability. When I asked if he understood what I meant, he said, "Yep, but why would they write that all over the fence?" My point exactly. Other questions, van questions, concern the topic of exactly how babies were made. Now, the child in question seemed to understand penis and vagina, but was pretty confused about what went where. And, ooh, did Daddy and I really do that? Did it hurt? She then reasoned that even if we did do it, we only really did it twice. For her and her older brother, right? Now, before I tell you the next installment of frank and uncomfortable conversations I've had about sex with my children, I should explain that I gave birth to 2 children, and then my husband and I adopted 2 more, all within a 6-year period, giving us 4 young children in 6 years. Baby number 5, the 3rd Korean-born member of our brood, arrived 9 years later. Now, there used to be discount bakeries in the St. Louis area selling slightly out of date but still edible bread and baked goods. To save money, I often frequented the bread store in an effort to keep our kids in peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Standing in the checkout line one morning with 2 of my children, baby in the cart and preschool daughter behind me, I became aware that my 3-year-old was chatting with the smiling shopper behind us. At the age of 3, she knew no strangers. She reasoned, "They're not strangers, Mommy, if they tell me their names." All of a sudden, the laughing shopper tapped me on the shoulder and shared with me that my daughter had just said the cutest thing. I smiled at the middle-aged woman and prayed she'd leave it at that. But no, she continued. Your daughter just said, see my baby brother in the cart? He's so lucky because he's an airplane baby. He got to come out of an airplane from Korea. I had to come out of my mom's vagina. Gross, huh? Way too much information, don't you think? Now, by the time baby number 5 neared the questioning age, I was a seasoned parent with a preschooler and 4 teenagers. I thought I'd heard it all. Bring it on. Driving home from school was the one time during the day when my youngest child had my undivided attention without older siblings around. One December afternoon, as we patiently sat in bumper-to-bumper traffic going south on Highway 270, I asked, have you learned any Christmas songs at school? He indicated that he had learned one and began singing his rendition of Jingle Bells. His sweet 3-year-old voice filled the van. His song went something like this. Fa 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 fa. Now, this was not the PG version you just heard, but the actual word version. I furtively adjusted the rearview mirror so I could view his face. Did he know what he was singing? Was that a smirk on his chubby little face? The tune was spot on, but the lyrics really needed some work. He seemed to think that's how the song was sung. Oh, wow, buddy, that's sure a great song. Did Miss Teresa teach you that song? No, I don't think she knows the song. Jackie taught me it. She's the new girl in class, and I love her, Mommy. Maybe my mom had it right after all. Being forthcoming and frank about the facts of life is not easy. Motherhood in general is not easy. In fact, sometimes it's really effing hard. Sorry, Mom.